Good evening and welcome. We call the Apple Valley Planning Commission meeting to order for March 4th, 2024. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there any changes from staff?
Mr. Chair, good evening, Commissioners. Just a suggestion, if we could take the number 4B, the approval of the Commission's annual report, move that to the bottom. I have a very quick overview of a PowerPoint presentation. I'd just like to highlight some of the key issues that we have in our report, and felt that was just easier to put that at the end of the meeting as a recap if you wish.
Okay, so we will keep that with, okay, we'll take care of that at that time.
Yep.
Any changes from the commissioners?
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Schindler and seconded by Commissioner Hollis. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Aye. That's complete. Moves forward. Next item is the consent agenda, which consent agenda items are considered routine and will be enacted with a single motion without discussion unless a request is made to consider any items separately. It will then be moved to the regular agenda for consideration. Can I have a motion?
Move approval.
And second.
Moved by Commissioner Schindler and seconded by Commissioner Hollis. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Aye. That moves forward. Next item on the agenda is the annual business meeting for the Planning Commissioner. And what we'll do is there's three items to for consideration: chair, vice chair, and secretary, and we'll do each one of these individually. And we'll start with the chair position. I nominate current chair Kurtz for the position.
Second.
Okay. That was moved by Commissioner Schindler and seconded by Commissioner Sandell. All in favor indicate by saying aye, or opposed nay.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's complete. The next item up is for vice chair. I'm going to nominate myself for the vice chair position.
Second.
That was moved by Commissioner Schindler and seconded by Commissioner Mahal. Yes. Okay, thank you. Is there any other nominations?
No.
Could I get a motion on that, please?
Make a motion on that?
Okay. That was moved by Commissioner Hollis and seconded by Commissioner Sandell. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
That moves forward. And then the third item we have is the secretary position. I nominate Commissioner Schindler for that.
I'll motion that.
Is there any other?
That's right.
There isn't. Okay. Motion by Commissioner Hollis, and I could have a second. Okay. And that was seconded by Commissioner Sandell. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Aye. All right. That carries. And just as a quick note, just want to congratulate our Chair Kurtz, Secretary Schindler, and Commissioner Hollis for being appointed for another 3 years here. So it's appreciated for your service, so thank you. Okay, the first item next up is a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing. We will now open the public hearing for agenda item 5A. The affidavit of publication for the notice of public hearing is available for inspection in the planning department. Anybody wishing to speak at the public hearing should be sure to fill out the attendance roster, include your name and address so that attendance records can be maintained. We'll begin the proceedings with a brief presentation by staff. After that, comments will be taken by the general public. And we have Carter Hayes.
All right.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the commission. So the item before you tonight is a conditional use permit request for outdoor display and sales at NIEMANN Ace Hardware. So this evening, staff is requesting that the Planning Commission open the public hearing, which we have already done, receive public comment, and close the public hearing. As standard practice, the commission does not usually take action the same night as the hearing. However, if there's no outstanding comments and the commission does concur, staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit with the attached conditions. So the applicant is requesting approval for a temporary outdoor display and sales area from April 1st through July 31st annually. The purpose is to construct a 630 square foot temporary greenhouse. That is the Polytex Garden Mart you see on screen, and that would accommodate their seasonal plant and garden sales. So the site location is at 14760 Pennock Avenue. This would be the southeast corner of Pennock and 147th Street West. This site is zoned RB, where outdoor display and sales is a conditional use there. So the site plan displays the outdoor display area would occupy 8 parking spaces on the east side of the parking lot. The area would be delineated by a temporary cedar split rail fencing. So all the items and products would be contained within that fenced area indicated on the site plan there. Some conditions that staff has prepared, I'm not going to read these in their entirety, but as a whole, they're intended to ensure that the outdoor display area remains seasonal in its nature, orderly in appearance, and consistent with our safety and site circulation standards. So following the public hearing, and provided there's no other outstanding concerns, staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit for the outdoor display and sales area subject to the attached conditions. I can stand for any questions from the commission, or if there's any questions directly for the applicant, we do have a representative from Ace Hardware in attendance. So.
Commissioners? I was just going to mention this is similar to what we've already done with on a seasonal basis with Home Depot, but in a smaller scale.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, that's correct. The Home Depot and maybe a couple other Menards, maybe they're larger in scale. They almost have it built in on their site. And they kind of keep them within their masonry, wrought iron fencing area. So this would be kind of at a smaller scale and a bit more temporary. So.
Okay. Would the applicant like to come up and add anything or provide some comments? I don't really have any comments. Okay, all right. No. Does any of the commissioners have for the applicant? Okay. Well, with that, and we have no public audience tonight for comments. So with that, I'm going to move to close the public hearing. If there is no further comments, I will close the public hearing. It is the policy of the planning commissioner not to act on an item on the same night as the public hearing, as the planning commissioner will weigh all comments and information received tonight in its deliberation in further meetings. This item will continue to appear on the planning commission agenda until a recommendation on the petition can be forwarded to city council. With that said, there doesn't seem to be any concern or what have you, and this is something we've done in the past, that I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Mr. Chair, I move we recommend approval of the conditional use permit for a NIEMANN Ace Hardware outdoor display and sales area and attaching conditions as outlined in the staff report.
I'll second that.
That was moved by Commissioner Schindler and seconded by Commissioner Hollis.
All right, thank you, guys.
I have one more item yet here I got to do. Do you have a motion for approval that was moved and seconded? And all in favor indicate by saying aye or opposed nay. Aye. That moves forward. There are no land use items this evening, and the next item up is the 2025 annual report, and that's going to be presented by Tim Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Very quickly tonight, as we always do, we like to give a sort of a highlight, a good report on what you accomplished last year. And as you'll see, or what you saw in your report or your packet, we had a good year, and I just want to highlight those. Again, starting off with our commissioners, Jody, Paul, David, Phil, Becky, Jeff, and Doug. Again, congratulations to Commissioner Schindler and Mr. Loss for agreeing to serve again. It's always welcome to have that continuity, so thank you. And again, these will be your slate of officers for the next coming up year. We also have our planning applications process in 2025. They're up here on the screen. You'll see a variety of these, and this is a good year. We had a great variety. We had 27 numbers, and don't you just love my PowerPoint?
That was a graphic.
These images. New commercial developments. I know my planners are laughing at me right now because I tend to get kind of weird on these. Starting off with McDonald's. Again, this was a great project at that corner at English and 155th, 15460 English Avenue. Public hearing was held on January 15th. You recommended approval, and the City Council approved it on January 27th. Shortly thereafter, we had a groundbreaking, and this building opened up very quickly. It moved quickly, and it was surprisingly up out of the ground very quickly, and they had a good contractor. So they opened in November of this year, or last year, excuse me. And so if you've ever been out there, it's a very busy restaurant. Good for them. Les Schwab Tire Center, this one at 15690, 16,000 square foot retail accessory store. The public hearing was held on February 7th of 2024, actually. City Council did approve it in April 2024, but now it's scheduled for a grand opening next Friday. You are welcome to attend. And again, these are some pictures I took very recently. So, and I think we should be proud of this new design because it doesn't have the garage door openings that they wanted. It has two garage doors opening, one to enter the cars in and one to exit. So all the car repairs or all the servicing is done inside the building, which should really help in dampening some of that noise from the air impact hammers or equipment that they usually see. Skyline Social and Games, 15555 English Avenue, 47,000 square foot indoor casual recreation facility with bowling, duck pins, axe throwing, billiards, bocce, and sand volleyball. You did reviewed this on April 2nd, 2025. Council approved shortly thereafter on April 24th. Scheduled to be open by late 2026 or early 2027. And here's an aerial shot image of what's happening out there right now. Again, sometimes it's good to see how big a building is. Mm-hmm. You see it on paper, you see it on the screens here, but until you start seeing the structure rise out of the ground, it's like, whoa, that's a big building. So this is going to be getting a lot of good traction on this, got a lot of inquiries, a lot of questions on it. So I think that's going to be an exciting project for us. Rapid Valley Village Cassia project, again, at 14670 Garrett Avenue. New TCU expansion to the overall campus there. This was presented in April 2025, recommended for approval. Council approved on May 8th of 2025. Construction is expected to begin possibly mid-2026. We haven't heard much from them, but we're expecting it to be starting sometime this year. 7 Brew Coffee, 15440 English Avenue. This is a very small 600 square foot drive-through only facility for coffee and special drinks. You reviewed this on the 18th of 2025, recommended approval. Council subsequently approved on July 10th, and construction is expected to begin this spring. with completion by summer 2026. And again, here's a photo that our city administrator, Tom Willell, took from a facility, I believe, over in Menominee or Eau Claire. But this is a kind of facility that would mimic, which is very bright, very nice features. Pickle Hall, this was a 7169 153rd, new 66,000 square foot indoor facility with 18 courts plus a food beer hall. Public hearing was held by the PC on July 12th, recommended for approval. Our council approved on September 11th. And construction is now underway. You may have seen some of that activity over there. Started last year. They continued through the winter, and they're expected to be completed by early 2027. Isn't that cool? I just discovered that curtains feature. New public institutional developments. Kelly Park. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the activity going on at Kelly Park. New band shell pavilion, restrooms, splash pad, extended parking. You may recall that we took care of the right-of-way that now will help provide for expanded parking. You saw this on the 16th of April, and the council approved on May 8th. And one of the big features that you're seeing right now is the shell of the proposed band shell. And you'll note the big movie, that's basically a big TV screen on that right-hand side, which can project movies or messages, and a big band shell, of course. So nice feature in that corner. Redwood Park, you may recall that we scraped that whole facility, started all over with a new indoor activity center, swimming pool, playground activities. You saw this on late 2024, council approved in 2025. It's now opening for a planned this June, actually. So this is going to be the new features that you're seeing with the new activity center. Community Center, our Apple Valley Community and Senior Center, just shows in red here the proposed addition that'll now connect or merge the Senior Center with the Community Center. You saw this on just recently on the 17th of December, excuse me. Council approved it in February, and here's a nice architectural elevation rendering that shows what that's going to look like. Very, very happy to see that. Our Apple Valley High Schools, you're also seeing some activity building the new Apple Valley Activity Centers, basically the gymnasium centers, 86,000 for Apple Valley High School. You approved these in January of 2025, and construction began in June of 2025. Eastview, virtually the same, 84,000, just over. You reviewed it in 2024, council approved in 2025, and we're starting to see that. This is a lot farther ahead than the Apple Valley one. Our police ops building, you saw this back in September 2023. Council gave approval, but we just had a ribbon cutting finally in August 2025, and I hope you ever get a chance to go see that building. It's a very, very nice building on the inside. And it looks kind of utilitarian from the outside, but it's very nicely done and designed on the inside. And you'll note the security and all the features that this building requires. Cedar Valley Learning Center, you approved a variance back in 2024. Council approved in 2024, but project was completed this year. And here's your finished product. Not a big project, but it's a nice feature. And this moved the entrance from a confusing entrance on the north side, and this is now on the east side of the building, facing Cedar Avenue. Can't forget our Apple Valley Technology Park. Again, this started off earlier this year on February 5th, 2025. I believe most of you were on the commission at that time. You may recall that at that meeting, we did hold a public hearing. It was continued or tabled to a future hearing. And part of that, what was impacting this development was a separate request from Rockport, the owners, for a comp plan amendment. And since that date, virtually since January of 2025, we worked with the applicant, the owner, and we finally presented their comp plan amendment back to you in April of 2025, where you may recall a recommendation of denial was was formulated. It took a while. We finally got it to the Planning Commission on the 22nd of January of this year, and the council formally denied the comp plan amendment. As such, this plan, as it's shown today, it would not meet our comp plan or our zoning ordinance as it stands. So the plan is to bring that back to you on the 18th of this year, where we have to officially finalize or final consideration, give a recommendation with the expectation it'll be presented to the council on the 26th of March. We have a deadline fast approaching by March 31st of this month. So we expect to have a recommendation, not expect, we'd like to see a recommendation out of you on the 18th, forward to the council, and hopefully, not hopefully, it'll put an end to a very long, arduous process on this project. So, again, this was a very challenging project to begin with. So, but we're moving on. Our housing and residential developments, Orchard Place Apartments. You probably have seen that this was has already begun construction. A new four-story, 135 unit was placed for Orchard Place, was approved in April 2025. Construction's ongoing, and this is what the image will look like. And here's an overall aerial shot a few weeks ago that just shows the impact of that site. So it's moving along, and they hope to be open within the year. Orchard Path, same thing. A new 75-unit continuum of care facility. Construction expected to take place through 2025, 2026. Again, looking at seeing a nice outcome on that. Valley Station Apartments, 144-unit workforce housing project. This was held on July 16th on their public hearing. Planning Commission did recommend approval. Our council did approve it on September. Construction is expected to begin very, very soon. We're also been told that there's an expected closing in April. So we're hoping that will take place, and then they'll start issuing their permits and start their project hopefully by April of this year. That's just another architectural image. Variances. We had a variance at McDonald's. This was to reduce the setbacks for that Class 2 restaurant from 1,000 to 200 feet. You saw that on the 15th of January. You approved it, or council approved on the 27th. Kelly Park, several variances for them. You saw them on the 16th as well. Council approved on the 8th of May. 7 Brew Coffee, again, that was to allow for extended hours of operation for that restaurant from 6 to 11, down to 5:30 to up to 11 p.m., excuse me. Also, the Christchurch sign variance, that was just to modify or acknowledge a reduced setback to an existing sign that they were swapping out a static to a message board sign. A good year for comp plan and ordinance amendments. We had a number of them, several of them. I mean, these are going to be familiar. We had a comprehensive plan amendment, as I just mentioned. A planning commission recommended denial on the 2nd of April. Council affirmed that by denying it on the 22nd of this year. The mixed-use business campus zoning district. Again, this is the new district that we wanted created on top of the Orchard Place development area. So this is the new mixed-use business campus zoning district. This was also presented back in February 2025, and this was affirmed and approved by the council on the 27th of 2025. We have an ordinance amendment to PD number 975 for impervious surface text amendment regarding the upping the requirements for lots 9,999 square feet or less in said district. Again, you saw that on May 7th. Council approved on the 22nd. A cannabis micro business text amendment. This was to amend PD 409 to allow for a new cannabis micro business in PD 409. You did see this on the 2nd. You recommended denial, and council affirmed that recommendation on the 10th of July. Our pickle hall, again, for indoor, to allow for indoor recreational use as an amendment to PD number 739. You saw that on the 2nd of July, and you affirmed on the 11th. Council, excuse me. Ordinance amendment PD, gaslight. This was for specifically the amendments to help Valley Station Apartments proceed. You saw these on the 16th. You recommended on the 2nd of August, and council approved on the 25th of 2025. You also did PD amendment, PD 1144. I'm going to go quickly through these. These are kind of boring. Planning staff presented an ordinance amendment to 155 to address procedures for measuring setbacks for cannabis buffers. We want to make sure we clarified that because we were kind of getting confused on how to measure those. So we fixed that. We also had variances. We now require, used to be we never had public hearings for variances. We now do. That we felt was just an ideal to have a hearing with variances. Finally, a request to cannabis retailers for setbacks. You did recommend denial. Our council affirmed that as well. A comprehensive plan amendment on our lots 1 and 2 in Fraser Edition. You may recall that it was pointed out by Sydney that we had these 2 parcels over there that are, both of them were guided HD high density and SIHD, suburban intensive high density. And we wanted those changed back to commercial, which meets or matches up with their LB, limited business zoning district. Our permit activities, very quickly, we had 7 new buildings or projects contributing for commercial industrial, just over 43 million, which is incredible. This included West Schwab, McDonald's, Skyline, our Minnesota Zoo, and the Macaque exhibit, the Redwood Park structures as well. Our commercial renovations, 105 permits, added $31 million of investment or valuation. That's great. Our permits for the institutional, 82 million in value. You'll note that the high school is 28 million, 25 million, Scott Highlands Middle School, Falcon Ridge. So these are great investments by the community and the school district. So we're very proud of that. Our residential, also, we had 10 new single-family units with 6.2 million, an average of 620,000 per unit. That's awesome. 15 new townhomes, 4.3 million, 283,000 per unit. Over 2,000 permits for residential additions or alterations, representing over 33 million. Again, great numbers. We like to see these. Also, our apartments projects for the 75 unit for Pres Homes, Orchard Path at 15.8, and the new Orchard Place apartments at 25 million. We had over 7 ribbon cuttings, 4 groundbreakings, Very Sweet Kitchen, Constellation Coffee, Tony's Pizza, Bliss Homes, Orchard Path, Abyssinian Market, Brianna, help me. Mihoakana, I'm going to say. McDonald's, Spice Village, AV Police Operation, Cornelia. Some great new, also Sharky's Cuts, Bogey Golf, O'Reilly Auto Parts. You may have noticed that they moved from their old place over to the vacated Best Buy store. Cafe de Paris, awesome. Boost Mobile, Sirius Sanjay, Snap Fitness, and soon to be open Crunch Fitness. And this is just a collage of our open businesses that we got. Our staffing news. You may recall Alex Sharp resigned as city planner. February 2025, he's now the new community development director for Wayzata, but he's also dead to us. Carter Hayes was hired as planner in 2020. I'm just kidding. Carter Hayes was hired as our new planner in 2025. Very happy to have him aboard. Also happy to have on board Terry Dill, was hired also a few weeks later in April 2025. And some of you may not know this, but Sydney Stroing was promoted from associate planner to planner in 2025. So these are the people that make my life so much easier. So anyway, by simple motion, we're asking to accept and approve that report and authorize staff to present said report to the council, if you so choose. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Tim? Could I have a motion, please?
I have one quick one. We did approve that, the microwave tower or the tower over by the church.
Yep.
I'm not seeing any movement on that. Is
Right now, I'll defer to Sydney if she's got any updates on that one.
So that CUP, they haven't applied for their building permit yet. We have reached out to the applicant to let them know that their CUP will lapse in May. They are deciding if they want to extend that CUP or to request to extend. So unknown at this point.
very good. Thank you.
Could I have a motion?
Move approval of the 2025 Planning Commission Annual Report.
Moved by Commissioner Schindler and seconded by
Second.
Commissioner Mahol. All in favor indicate by aye or opposed nay. Aye. That moves forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, that concludes our business tonight, and I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Mr. Chair, just very quickly, just want to remind everybody of the meetings coming up real quick here. So we have Wednesday, March 18th. We hope that you can be there. We do have a public hearing, as I mentioned. Questions keep coming up. We have a continuation, but a new hearing. Just for an explanation, the conditional use permit that was originally part of the application packet from Apadan, it was never held on February 5th because the zoning ordinance had not been created yet. So it was going to be held over to the next available meeting. Didn't expect it to take this long, but we are required to conduct a public hearing on that conditional use permit as well. We're getting a lot of action from the neighbor residents who have been following this project very closely. So we're still inviting them to the 18th. If we do by chance get a withdrawal from the applicant, we'll notify, post everything, and if we don't have a hearing that night, then we're just going to cancel that meeting and you'll have a night off. But for now, we'd love to see you on the 18th if we need to. That's it.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. And with that said,
Move we adjourn.
Second.
moved by Commissioner Schindler, seconded by Commissioner Hollis. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is closed.